Got some cymbals in, some Avedis Zildjian 20-inch Symphonic French, which I will open in a minute here. So I'll edit this together in YouTube edit thingy. Okay, this is a pair of French Symphonic, which are the lightest, thinnest, I should say, or lightest, of the Zildjian Symphonic line, which they might have changed. I know the orchestrals, and you know they have the Z-Mac and all that other stuff. But the Z-Mac is very heavy. So are the old band cymbals that say band on them, as well as most of the ones that say concert. Okay, so if you want thinner ones, you want the French. Or maybe, again, they have, I forget what they have these days. They might have like the, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, come on. Yeah, I think they call it Classic Orchestral Special Selection. But of course they have K's and they have all kinds of cymbals that in the symphonic department. But I do like the good old Avedis Zildjian French. Jesus. Sorry. This is reality, though. This is reality television. No, but I really want to do this. Partially because if I get these and they're messed up right now, I can say, hey man, I have a video of you. Of your video. Sorry. Your cymbals. Kind of anxious to open this. Of your cymbals are being opened. So if there is damage, I can say, dudes, go check it out. But anyway, but this is exciting because I've been looking for. Jesus. Oh, thank God, newspaper. It's such a bummer when you get in there and it's peanuts. You know what I mean? That even the stuff that's biodegradable. Hopefully there's not a cockroach nest in here. Jump off the grid. Okay, so here we go. Oh, here they are. This is not a hi-hat, like a fake. Okay, I'm not gonna. I better not drop these. These are really. Come on. Ugh. Man, can't say he didn't pack well. Guys. I love them. Okay, anyway, so be patient. Again, this is my video, so. Come on, baby. Come to Papa. Okay, so here we go. Alright. Okay. Symphonic French. One is heavier than the other. I'm hoping this is the heavier one. Okay, and this guy. Alright. Yes. Thank God it's thinner. Okay, so check this out. Compared to the modern offerings, until they changed them a few years ago, of the modern Zildjians, up until, let's say, 3 years ago, they're always so bowl-shaped and heavy that I always loved the French, because you could get this profile in the K's. But look at that bell, though. Look at that so 602 looking bell. But you couldn't get like regular Avedis Zildjians with this flat a profile unless you went with the K's, like the reissue K or modern K's 1979 on. But in the Symphonics, you get that really flat profile, but the same more or less hammering and lathing of the A's. So it's like a good, to me, a good spec regular A. So let's take this off. Hang on, let me pause this. There wasn't a grommet in here, which was nice. It was just the leather. Sometimes you'll have grommets. But anyway, Symphonic French. Look at that bell. Now listen to this guy. I'm going to put it up on the drums. That is actually beautiful from where I'm sitting. So, I'm going to put it up on the stands in a minute, if I may. Yeah, this one looks good. No cracks, thank God. Yeah, it's no cracks. Oh, baby. So, at least I filmed it for that. And this one. Oh, good. Well, then let's hear this one. No cracks here, which is nice. Oh, screw it. I'll hang on to it like this. But what? So. Alright, so I'm going to get them up on the stands. But here they are. Again, I love, I do like Avedis Zildjians. I mean, now they've changed them kind of apparently back to the old specs, thank God. I, honest to God, did call Zildjian. And tell them that the profiles of their cymbals were, one time, and I spoke, where was the Sabian was a guy, the Zildjian was a girl. She was actually pretty cool about it. I said, if you look at your Viennese and your French and some of these, you know, the concert cymbals, how flat they are, and the bells, even though this is a big bell, a la 602, it's not, the profile is so flat. Anyway, let's put them on. That they're like, you know what it is? They're like 70s, 80s Zildjian, 70s, but with like an modern specs, but just not so bowl-shaped. Okay, let me just put it there. So to me, these, again, very 602 sort of flat. Nice. Now, for me, their pitches are almost the exact same. Da, 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 da. Okay, so check that out. So I think then, even though this one is it seems apparently higher pitched, I think it's thinner. And I'll weigh them to confirm that. So the one with the kind of green jizz all over it is sort of the, well, it's the one with that sounds like this. And then the one that does not, has a little green on there, I guess, but... Okay, so now what happens is... God, yeah, I guess this really does, it's got to be thinner. But I'll weigh it. But I love that as a crash. It doesn't have the ring of a B8, a good B8 alloy cymbal. But this one sounds okay. It sounds a little more regular A, like a regular, slightly more even profile, more bowed. This one is my favorite here apparently in the room. So I guess if you're going to do a jazz thing, I love when people do this. I have to do that. Everybody always does. You want to pretend like you have some good technique. But anyway, so... about the same. Yeah, that is a particular favorite of mine. That's what I do. Sorry about the delay. I mean, I'm just checking on the cymbal. Symphonic French. Remember, the Viennese are the next size or weight up. One of the Viennese in the 18-inch size I like. The other one's too heavy. At least the pair or two that I have. So I've been lucky. This is not a crack. I've been lucky to have had a couple of the 18s. I've never found, at least for $200 shipped. I think that wasn't shipped. Maybe $20 more. $220. I got both of these guys in good shape. From the era, which I would think would be, this might be 20 years old, maybe. I guess they could be from maybe late 80s. But anyway, Jefferson Band, yeah. Anyway, so these are they. So I've been dying for those. So now when I have that in my arsenal, I mean, I do love Zildjians. I mean, you got to go through. I mean, they have their own personalities. And again, with Zildjian, what they do is they have like they have little droplets of bronze that they then like individually sort of cast, well, with machines now, but each individual chunk of bronze they would flatten and hammer, thin out and anneal or whatever, and then hammer and make the cymbal. Whereas Paiste literally would take that same, instead of one clump of dough, they go to the big bowl where it came from. It's a huge thing of dough, and they just roll that flat like a cookie. You know what I mean? So it's cast, but then they just cut discs, so then you get consistency, right? But Zildjians, I mean, have their I mean, I grew up with Zildjians. But I grew up in an era of kind of, I thought, shitty Zildjians. I mean, I'm sorry, you know, they changed the weights really heavy, and the shape got crazy. But like 70s into 50, I mean, I found that later when I buy them on eBay and stuff. But I love like that 50s, 60s. I thought were the best because they had the sort of the modern. They didn't have that big, huge bell, and they had a flatter profile, and they just weren't as heavy. But it was just, they just have, I mean, apart from a mojo, but they just sound really good. To me, a really nice, not a lot of frequencies fighting there at all. But here, I think this would be more like, even though it apparently is heavier, it has like an A, like a 50s A to me sound and quality to it. Alright, and to show you that I'm not kidding. Alright, so then I have two. Sorry if this is a long video, but this is a 17-inch that I bought on eBay that was supposed to be an 18, but it came and it's a 17, which is fine with me, because these are a hell of a lot more scarce. And I love a 17. There's a teeny bit of a waver in the edge here. It's not a ding, but just no cracks. But this is a suspended, okay? What does it say? Medium suspended, I think it says. And looking at it, to me, it just looks like a 60s version. You know what I mean? Maybe 60s into early mid-70s. You know, it has like that, like a couple different stamps. Like it might say like medium here, and on some of the cymbals it might say bounce, or not bounce, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's not one stamp that says, you know, the quality or the weight or the model, right? Because here it says special. So I don't know, maybe it was special ordered. So special. And it says, I think medium suspended. I think it says, I don't know. I thought it said something on the front. Oh no, sorry, that's nothing. Right here. Suspended, but I thought it said medium somewhere on it. I don't know. So let's do this. Let's, let me get back to you. Now to me this is a good example when you kind of hear it. It's a regular Avedis, okay, Avedis Zildjian, probably late 60s, early, probably mid-late 60s. But suspended, right, which would be on a thing, it would be literally suspended, and they'd hit it with mallets. But here's the thing about it. It has sort of a tone. I prefer my other couple 17s. It kind of has like that fast, crashy, like, like it's there, like, but kind of like a harder sound. For a Zildjian. But then what happens is that harder sound in frequencies when there's other stuff going on get washed out. So this is a good example to me of a good, it would sound good in the studio, but of a great live Zildjian. Because it has a really nice crash. It get real high, like glassy, almost 602, with some of that patented Zildjian in it, right? Which Pisces has too. Right off the bat. That's always Rush. straight live. And then, yeah, so if you get a chance, you know, I'm going to check out the redone Zildjians, the Avedis Zildjians, just to kind of see. I did see some, and I was surprised that some of the bells were still a little bigger. But you'll see here kind of what Zildjian always did, well, at least in the last, since 1970, in my opinion, is 17-inch, which this is, has always been sort of the cutoff size for the smaller bell. Then you go to 18, it's like that on an 18, like boom, you know what I mean? That was one of my beefs. Nice. So I'm gonna clean these because they're my used cymbals. I don't care. Yeah, I clean cymbals a bit. All right. So, hope you like them. Think about some symphonics. French symphonic, remember, are the lightest. You have Viennese above that. They're heavier. In the 18-vil, or thinner, I guess, or smaller diameter. I do keep one Viennese 18, but I consider it like a heavy crash, and it's the lighter of the two. So pretty much I'd stick with French, okay? And again, this is suspended. The old concert cymbals are good too, but they tend to be on the heavy side. Avoid the Z-Max for the love of God. And although, you might find a ride you like. And then what else? And then there were also, let me see, suspended, and then they have the suspended, and then the orchestral, or maybe they just are a suspended orchestral. I have one, a couple sitting here too. Actually, that's what my Paiste is here. That's what this guy, sorry, that's what this guy is. My really one, well, I have two other sound formulas, but this sound formula is a Paiste hand. Okay, they also make band, and the band are usually heavier. I don't know if they make band in the higher models. When you see like band and like the 502 and all that stuff, it's a heavy cymbal. Maybe good hats. But the hand, okay? So the sound formula, they call this the Frankenstein, right? Because they sort of went to the signature, kind of started making a lot more like signatures and changed the logo. Anyway, so this is a hand and it's a Type 1, which I think is the light. No, wait, hang on. There's a Type 1 and a Type 2. Type 2 I think are heavier, Type 1 I think are thinner. 18-inch universal, that's Paiste sort of calls it that. In the old days, I do remember seeing concert on their cymbals, though, too, the hand ones. But anyway, see, look at that profile. See how frickin' flat that is? And look at that bell. That looks like that looks like this cymbal. If you like watching the end of a, you know, a photograph that was totally squashed down, like, you know what I mean? And so it's. You can tell how flat that is. You can just hear like that almost K-like flatness, but with this, well, this is B15, but with that just more metallic Paiste. This actually sounds great in context when you're playing music. Sometimes just in this environment it might sound harsh. Sorry. Okay, sound formula, hand, 18-inch. This thing's been beat up a little. Not by me, I got it from somebody like this. Anyway, but yeah, I really love those French, okay, or concert, or suspendeds. Try those babies. So I'm going to clean them, and we'll see what happens. Again, I know I've said this before. I got to just tune up the 17. I'll just be honest with you. I have a 26, 9x13, 15-inch, and 17-inch floor toms. They're old Ludwig parade drums. I just love the tone of them. So that's the drums you're going to be getting in that video, which is really honestly coming up. So. I hope this was helpful if you ever want to fart around with, again, like older Zildjians. I find like the older, if they're not
50s or 60s A's, if you're kind of going for that mojo, look out for some 70s or 80s or 90s symphonic Frenches or suspendeds or whatever, because you'll get a nice A sound, but without that gongy horror that they ran with for about 30 years. This is my opinion. I know there's a lot of Zildjian people that'll freak, but I'm telling you, that's exactly why Zildjian changed the style back to like this. You know what I mean? It kind of started with the A Zildjian in C, not the ones from the 40s or the 70s, but the Canada ones or whatever, but the ones, I don't know, like 15 years ago maybe. A Zildjian in C, they had that line, and then it sort of morphed into Armand. But like old spec, and that's kind of, I think, what they did with the regular bread and butter Avedis. So, anyway, hopefully this is helpful. And thanks for watching. And I'll end with the cymbals craze. Okay, and back to the other symphonic. Like a vault. Like a vault. Max, it's all right. D. Okay, sorry. Looking for edge wobble. There's more here, but apparently more here because it's higher up into my line of sight. This one, little trash here. Yeah, now this one sounds a little heavier. I don't know. Whatever. I'll get the weights in a little while.